Happy Friday, Marketing Interactive listeners, and welcome back to the weekly Roundup, our podcast that delves into the biggest story of the week and breaks down the most talked about topics in the newsroom. This week, you guys really loved that Fei Wee, who recently left Heineken after 13 years, joined Resorts World Sentosa as its Vice President of Resort Marketing. Team Singapore also picked Mullen Lowe and Good Stuff to handle its creative campaign at the Paris 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games, with Mullen Lowe and Good Stuff collaborating on the social media remit of the scope. Speaking of the Paralympic Games, this week we are going to take a deep dive into the Paralympics TikTok page, which, if you didn't know, has been posting some questionable content. The Paralympics official TikTok account has been releasing a series of videos featuring various athletes and sports over the course of the last few weeks. However, they are coupling it with memes and funny TikTok sounds that have notoriously gone viral in the past. So, for example, a blind athlete was looking for his bike, and it was coupled with an audio that likened him to a piano man. Or, for example, the Paralympics TikTok team hopped onto the viral Four Seasons baby trend and edited one of the athletes to the Four Seasons baby track. So, we spoke to some social media experts this week to find out what it is about this strategy that seems to be working. Because, according to media intelligence firm Karma, the Paralympics TikTok account received mixed sentiments, with conversations about the account being 28.9% positive and 15.7% negative. Okay, so joining me here on the podcast is my Gen Z journalist once again, Abida Sharbini, who is here to walk us through the TikTok strategy because honestly, I'm a millennial and when I watched the TikTok video, I found it a little bit offensive. But apparently, this is what works because the sentiments were so mixed. So Abida, why don't you tell me, what is it about this strategy that is really appealing to the Gen Z audience?
I think for starters, it really fits into the whole Gen Z vibe. There's a little touch on humor there, and the fact that they're all really quick and just snappy. It really engages the audiences on TikTok because that's how we work.
and you know what I like about it though? I feel like because it's so quick, it really engages you and pulls you into the Paralympics, even though you may not watch the Paralympics itself.
Yeah, exactly. And we spoke to some social media marketers, and they mentioned that maybe the use of humor and the fact that these videos are short and quick and engaging, it makes it feel as authentic as well, because you're highlighting the sports, you're also highlighting the people behind the sports, aka the athletes. And to be very honest, I've never watched the Paralympic Games, but after coming across that TikTok, I'm sold.
I know. I have never been interested in either the Olympics or the Paralympics. But then with this TikTok thing, my whole feed is just flooded with Paralympics content. Just from not even just the original videos from the official account, but also from people making skits, people parodying it. People are really enjoying that content. And so I'm really pulled in.
Yeah, that's true. One of the social media marketers that we spoke to actually talked about how the community's reaction itself to the videos speaks for itself. It gives people the freedom and the space to engage with Paralympians, just as how they would with any other TikTok content. And we've seen the comments ourselves, and there were people who were praising the social media manager, and secondly just saying that they're happy that Paralympians are finally getting the exposure that they deserve.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that stood out for me whenever I watched those videos were the comments that this is so wild, and I think it's just coming from people like myself who are thinking, oh my goodness, is this offensive? Is this correct to be saying? But at the same time, it's also an acknowledgement that underlying the social media strategy, there actually is a very touching, a very heartwarming, and a very authentic way of showing them. Yeah. It is not trying to be hurtful or harmful in any way. Instead, it's more a celebration of who they are and just learning to just enjoy yourself and celebrate your weaknesses and your strengths and the fact that you're on this global stage.
Yeah, to be honest, they're just athletes. They're just athletes, and this is just a really fun and engaging way, the use of audios and memes to just share more content about a game that's coming up, not just any game, but a major sports event that's coming up in August.
Exactly, and I don't know about you, but I will definitely be tuning in because I am hooked on it right now. But unfortunately, this is all the time we have for this week. Thank you so much for joining us on the weekly roundup. Please join us here next week where we will be rounding up the biggest stories of the week and deep diving into what the newsroom is chatting about.